I would say 11:45-ish, and we are beginning our trail. So we're just about to pass into the actual trail now. This is out of the campsites. And there we go. So the loop I'm doing is Trailhead all the way around. We're stopping at Mount Romulus tonight. Continue up to Tombstone, and then to Big Elbow. Oops, sorry, and then to Big Elbow here, and then all the way back to the trailhead on the last day. So we're walking through what I like to call the river flats, because the river's right there, and then this whole area, I'm pretty sure got all washed out because of a flood a few years ago, or more than a few years ago, I'm not really sure. The water here is absolutely crystal clear everywhere. That is much needed. The water is so dang cold, and I am way too hot. Soak my shoes, they'll dry off soon anyways. That's why you wear trail runners and not waterproof boots, or else they'll never dry off. Well, you can definitely tell I'm on the side of a mountain because look at those rock formations right there. They're all angled upwards. So I've been walking for a little over an hour. We are right here. Sorry, I can barely reach. We started way over here. So we've gone that far. We still have 7.4 kilometers to go to Mount Romulus. According to the InReach, we're at exactly 5 kilometers, and we've been walking for 1 hour and 18 minutes. So I am going 3.8 kilometers an hour. I take my time when I hike though, so this sounds about right. So I'm almost halfway there actually, if there's only 7.5 kilometers left. Next stop will be an old car bridge that's further up, or I'm not sure if it's a car bridge or if it's just a bridge that they made for access to the campgrounds, like to drop off firewood and stuff. And then they just happened to build it like they would for a car. I don't know, you'll see in a little bit. But I'm gonna take a break there. And this is what I mean by car bridge. It has an actual like truck thing on it. Then if we continue this way, we've got a bridge that looks like a truck bridge. Well, my break was nice, but it's time to continue. Next stop won't be until Mount Romulus, and then I'll do a little tour. But let's get over this bridge first. I remember the hill on the other side of the bridge really sucked. It was really, really steep, and I can see it's really steep, so I'm gonna take my time on that. For sure needed that break. Well, we're halfway up this hill. I came from down there, and I still have to go all the way up here. And then after that, it just gets very hilly. Lots and lots of up and down. Which is okay, because I mean, you know, we're in the mountains, but like, does anyone actually like hills? I stopped to take another break. I'm at 7.3 kilometers right now, so I have pretty much exactly 5 to get to the campsite. I don't know, it's really hot. I kind of feel like I'm gonna vomit, which isn't great. I kind of hope I do, because then I'll probably feel better, but just taking a little rest in the shade. Just not feeling super well. Like, I'll get to Mount Romulus regardless. I might just have to take like quite a few breaks, which sucks. Last year I made it there in 4 hours, like all in. I think I'm already close to 3 hours right now. Well, I guess if I'm at 3 hours and I just have 5 kilometers left, it's gonna be around 4 hours still, as long as I don't take too many breaks. But I'm just gonna take whatever I feel like my body needs, because I am not feeling well at all. So I am currently 2.8 kilometers away from Mount Romulus. I needed to take another break. Again, still really not feeling well. The vomiting feeling is getting much worse. Like I said, I hope it just kind of happens, because then maybe I'll feel better. I've been drinking lots of water, so I'm not really sure what's going on, but it might just be the heat. I don't know what temperature it is, but the sunlight absolutely kills me. So I'm just gonna kind of sit in the grass over here. I'm literally right beside the trail, just for like 5 or 10 minutes, just to cool down, and then I'm going to continue, and hopefully I don't need to take a break again. So according to my Garmin, I've already burned 913 calories, which is insane. It says I've only walked like 7,000 steps, which doesn't make sense because I'm like 10 kilometers into the trail. So I don't know, but. So I think what I'm going to do tomorrow, because I think part of the reason why I'm feeling so sick is the heat, right? I think I'm gonna try leaving the campsite pretty early, so I can just get to Tombstone. I think Tombstone's only like 7.3 kilometers or something. It's not that far, but my understanding that is that it is quite tough, because it's you're going uphill pretty much the whole time, which sucks. But I chose to do this, so yeah, I think if I leave earlier in the morning, and hopefully I make it there before it gets really hot. Like, I don't know, do I get up at like 6 a.m. and then try and get there like as fast as possible, or like what do I do? I'll have to see. I'll think, and I'll update later in the tent. Honestly, this is kind of nice, just sitting at the side of the trail. I have a really good view. I just got dripped on by rain, which honestly is lovely because it's very hot, but maybe I should continue. I think they originally said thunderstorms for this afternoon, but I guess I wasn't expecting them right now. Well, it's really raining now, which is honestly quite welcome because it's still hot, but I definitely appreciate the little reprieve in the heat. I've got my big camera all wrapped in a Ziploc, but I think we're only like 2 kilometers away, so it's not too far at all. So I shouldn't have to take another break. I'm doing okay, unless there's like a really big uphill, because the uphills are the worst. And this is why I backpack. Look at this view. Beautiful. It smells like horse butt right now though, but this is also an equestrian trail, so I'm not surprised. I'm like 95% sure this didn't look like this last year. It's like a whole section of the trail fell away. I remember there being something here, but I don't think it was this bad. Like, this is probably a 2-foot drop. So now the trail's here. And this is where we were. Also, this is Mount Romulus, or that's Mount Romulus. I think that one might be Mount Romulus. I'm only a kilometer away, so yeah, I think it's this one. I can't remember. In that case, this is Mount Remus. I'm about 0.75 kilometers away from the campsite, but I just had to stop. I wasn't gonna stop again, but look at this. This is probably one of the prettiest views I've ever seen. I'm not really sure if you can see it, but there's a crystal clear little lake down there. Be really neat to bring a paddleboard or a kayak in, but there's no way. Also, look at all the snow still up on the ridge. Holy cow. I know lots of places still have avalanche warnings. Obviously here it's pretty okay because there's not too much snow, but a big chunk could fall off. I'm in the home stretch. I can see literally right there is the turnoff for Mount Romulus. Never been so happy to see a sign in my life. At least until tomorrow anyways. And we are finally officially here. I'm taking site 6. I think this is what I took last year. So there's a big tent pad. I'm only in a one-person tent, so I don't need anything huge. But yeah. So let's look at the stats. I've been walking for 5 hours, 12 minutes and 14 seconds, though time moving is 3 hours, 28 minutes and 51 seconds. Last year, like I said, it took me right around 4 hours, so I'm a little bit slower this time, but that's okay. Moving average 3.8 kilometers per hour. I've walked 13.2 kilometers. Then let's also check the Garmin, see what it says. So I've walked 10,010 steps. It's 4:51 right now. And I have burned 2,371 total, but active as in terms of what I've hiked is apparently 1,130. So that's pretty insane. Yeah, I'm going to relax a little bit and then I'm going to set up my tent. I'm also eating the last of that cookie. I couldn't finish it earlier. My stomach has definitely settled down. I think it's just the heat. Like you could see the sweat glistening off my face, which is super gross. But I'm going to eat this and then in a little bit probably I'll have dinner. There's people up at the eating area with fire pits. Sorry. So this is what the other little non-fire pit eating area looks like. Pretty nice. Probably gonna go step in the water. I do need to filter water, so that's what I'm gonna do, but probably gonna go in the water as well. Well, that would kill you for sure. I'm gonna get some water from over here, I think. Okay, I lied. I wanted a look, or a better look at all of this. It's not very deep. I'd say, I don't know, 8 inches, maybe a full foot. But the fact that you'd get pinned against trees is terrifying, and there's a lot of them. Okay, so I've had dinner. I had the taco, like the vegan taco mix with couscous. There were people eating at literally every table, so I didn't want to pull out my camera and film. But I got some small things from... Oh, whoa. Okay, I gotta switch the camera around just a second. I'm just hanging out in the tent and there's a deer right there. Okay, bye little deer. Anyways, I was saying, so I had the vegan taco mix with couscous. It was okay. Also, I think I'm extremely sunburned, which sucks. But I don't bring sunscreen into the backcountry because I don't want bears. So, like, I get it. It's just unfortunate. Like, look at the, like how red. Yeah. That's okay. Literally nothing I can do about it now. I should have brought a hat. I totally meant to, and then I completely didn't. So that was obviously my fault. Let's see. I also had some banana chips for dinner, which were pretty good. I had packed like an entire bag of banana chips. The vegan taco thing, like taco with couscous. And then I had packed the Lenny and Larry's cookie. I ate that, the rest of it when I got to Mount Romulus campsite. And then I ate the taco thing, and then I couldn't finish the banana chips. It was just way too much, and that's all I've had today. I didn't eat before I hiked. So that's my bad. I don't know, I'm not really a morning eater person, so yeah. But right now I'm just laying in the tent. It's all set up. You guys can look on my last video to see how I set it up. I'm in the one-person Lanshan. Again, same as last time. One-person Lanshan Pro specifically. I'm on the NeoAir X-Lite. I've got the Hikenture pillow, I believe, and then I have my new quilt, which is the Arrowhead Equipment Oahi. I don't know how to say it, but the Arrowhead Equipment quilt that has the buckles in the footbox so that you can lay it flat like a blanket. I tested it literally just before I left for Calgary. I did a front country trip at Elk Island with my husband. Literally the day before I left. And then I immediately had to quickly pack stuff. And then I headed out the following morning. And it was very comfy. Like, I had no issues with it at all, so I hope it's going to be nice and comfy this time as well. But we'll see, I guess. Oh, the deer's back. But anyways, yeah, I'm extremely tired. I am very sore. I need to do some first aid stuff on my feet because I have 2 blisters. Both of my pinky toes are blistered, which sucks. I had re-wetted my feet multiple times today because it was so hot. Calgary was in a heat warning, and Bragg Creek was in a heat warning, and Bragg Creek is like the last city town thing, not a city, but last little village before Kananaskis. There's only like 60 kilometers or something between Bragg Creek and the actual trailhead, so whatever they have for warnings, this is also gonna have probably. Sorry, I'm tired. Yeah, my hip was really hurting too, which is weird, and I have knee problems due to a previous injury, and my knees didn't hurt at all today, which is, you know, good, but at the same time, it's weird that my hip was hurting, and I've never had a hip injury, so I don't know what to make of that. And then, yeah, I just need to deal with my pinky toes. I'm going to sew some thread through them so that it wicks all the moisture away. And then I am going to top it off with moleskin so that I don't have to deal with it for the next however many days. This is night 1 of 3, so 4 days. But yeah, I'll let you know when I do first aid stuff, I guess. Okay, so I've popped this giant blister. Oh yeah, that's some good footage right there. Super gross. I put a thread through it so that it'll wick all the stuff out overnight. And then I am going to slap some Leukotape on it. I might leave that until the morning just to make sure that this does completely drain. Very gross, but it works. I also apparently cracked the skin there. We've got another little blistery thing there. And on the other foot, it feels like there's a blister, but I don't really see anything. So I will deal with that accordingly later. I think I may have also bruised my ankle because it's looking pretty dark. It's quite sore, especially like right here. It's extremely sore. Unfortunately, I had a situation yesterday. I went down to Calgary a day early because I always do that, and I accidentally was walking through the grass at the Glenmore Reservoir, and there was a hole in the grass that I didn't see right by the big red chairs, and I fell and twisted my ankle, and it was this one, so I think this might just be from yesterday, but it's exceptionally tender, so it's definitely an Advil kind of night. I was trying to soak my ankle in the event that is actually sprained. And I'm like, oh, the perfect place to do it is the little Elbow River because it's so cold. But it's not just so cold, it's so cold. Like, that's already unbearable. I have my little solar panel with me so I can charge my power bank on the trail. And unfortunately I missed all of the evening sun. It's all over there. Over here we're in full shade. So that's okay too. Yeah, full shade. Versus over here where it's nice and sunny. But that's okay. Okay, so I'm hanging out in the tent. I'm doing some backcountry laundry. And by backcountry laundry, I mean I'm doing my socks. I have a cloth in here that I used to wipe places and clean myself up. And I have my underwear, which is full of butt sweat. So I put some water in here. And I've been just kind of doing this. And look at all this gross stuff that came out. I have camp suds with me, but I wasn't going to do that right now because I technically should have done it before I put the camp suds in with my food, which is like way down there in the bear lockers, so I'm not going to go get it. So we're just doing a little rinse today, but tomorrow I'm hoping to get an earlier start so that I have time at the end of the day to do stuff like this before it gets dark. So now that I'm hanging out in the tent, let's do a little debrief, I guess, about like everything today. So I started in the Trailhead parking lot for Elbow Sheep Wildland. I was already pretty tired by the time I made it to like not where the front country sites were. And then I was getting quite tired where the bridge was. And I took a really nice long break there, as you guys saw. My issue was with probably the second half of the second half, so the last quarter, the last 3 or so kilometers. I was stopping constantly. A lot of it was just very, very long uphills and then a teeny tiny downhill. And then very, very long uphills. And it was a lot. My little body is not prepared for this. To be fair though, I was going to train for this and then I didn't, so it's probably my own fault. Oh yeah, let's look at some stats. So I have walked 13,382 steps. I have burned a total of 2,946 calories total, and 1,417 of those are active, meaning like from hiking. I'm also quite sunburnt, as we saw before. That's just gonna get worse tomorrow. It is what it is. I should have packed aloe, at least in the car, if not directly with me. I don't know if it's worth the wait to bring aloe, because in that case I could just bring a sunscreen stick, but I don't want to like risk having product on my face or like deodorant under my arms or anything, because we are in grizzly country, so you have to be extra careful. Like, I'm being pretty risky tonight because I'm sleeping in the clothes I'm sleeping in the clothes I hiked in, but the clothes I hiked in I usually put into the bear locker with my food and stuff, because, you know, crumbs might have fallen, like you may have sat in something you didn't realize, stuff like that. But I decided not to today. If a bear wants to eat me because my clothes smell like Lenny and Larry's cookies and taco mix and stuff, unfortunately, I guess it is what it is. But yeah, I don't like taking any products. I thought about bringing a sunscreen stick, because they have ones for kids that are SPF 50, even just to use on like my back and stuff. But then I like the back of my neck, because that's pretty sunburnt too. But I can't do that either, because it's going to make my backpack smell like sunscreen, which is dangerous. So it's easier to just not bring anything like that, though I suppose you could just wash it off. But I don't know, it's not worth it to me to risk it. So there was a brief thunderstorm today, which was quite nice. I really needed that. I'm kind of hoping it's going to rain or something tomorrow, or I'm going to wake up pretty early. I'm assuming, because my tent is brown, the sun's gonna come through it really nice and golden in the morning. I'm not sure about here, but in Edmonton, the sun begins to rise at like 3:30 a.m. And I don't particularly want to get up at 3:30 a.m., but I might get up to put the solar panel out and just let it do its thing for a couple of hours while I go back to sleep. But I'm hoping that I'm probably on the trail at like 9 or 10, and that if it takes me like 5 hours, I'll be getting to Tombstone at 2 or 3, which should be right before the hottest part of the day / moving into the hottest part of the day. So hopefully that will give me lots of options for keeping cool. I'm not actually sure what there is for water or anything, so I'm gonna have to fill her up, and then pretty much every creek that I stop at or whatever, I'll have to top up my bottle. I drank like 2.5, 3.5 liters today, which is a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that happened today. I'm mildly scared for Tombstone. I know Tombstone's literally the hardest one to get to, but this was pretty hard for me today. I'm scared that all my pain and stuff from today is going to continue until tomorrow, and it's going to really slow me down. I mean, I'll get there eventually, but I just don't want it to take 9 hours for 9.5 kilometers. Because if I feel like I need to take that many breaks, I will take them, but it's gonna suck, in terms of time. It was 13 kilometers over 5 hours today, so that's not a lot. I can't even math it out, but it took me a long time. I'm hoping that Tombstone, I know a lot of it's uphill, but I'm hoping it's only as uphill as this past section, so that at least it's I can get to the top of the hill, take a break, get to the top of a hill, take a break, because that's pretty much what I did today, versus being uphill exclusively. When I did Prairie Mountain last year, it took me 5 hours, and it doesn't usually take people that long. But I need to stop so many times, because the uphill's hard. My body itself is heavy, and then my bag is not heavy compared to traditional backpacking, but it's heavy for me. We'll see what happens. I will update you in the morning, or I guess later. I mean, I'm gonna be awake for who knows how long. It's only just coming up 9 now. It's 10:12 right now, and that means 2 things. 1, animals are out and about because they're out at dusk and dawn. And 2, that means I don't leave my tent unless I have a bathroom emergency. But I'm gonna stop from having a bathroom emergency by taking Imodium. But if I don't have to get up to go to the bathroom at all tonight, that will for sure be fantastic, because then there's no chance of accidentally running into something. I've never heard a bear or anything here, but I've only been here once before, so I don't know. I think they'd be more interested in being down by the fire pits and food lockers, if anything. That's why they're completely away from the campsites, and you have to walk 3 minutes to get to them. Especially because one other person in the campground today, they had not fresh tuna, but they had brought canned tuna, and they dumped the water in the gray water disposal, so now the gray water disposal smells like tuna. So I wouldn't be surprised if a bear or something investigates that. But that's pretty far from here, so I'm not too worried, but I still don't want to run into anything, so I'm going to take an Imodium to clog everything up.